So this was describing, this is when we were trying to get funding for the business itself. This was gas station. Actually, this is all 4 locations. So it's the Gas Station Group is the name of our company. Gas station is the current license that's active. AZ Buds can be we can get it back, and then we would need 2 additional licenses for the different properties.
Okay.
And here,
You could take me through the presentation. I mean, if you want to, you could just put the.
Sometimes it doesn't like it, and let's run the presentation and see what happens. Yep, and that's what it did. It moved it right over to the other screen. Can you see the presentation?
Yeah, I see it. I see it clear.
Okay. So these are the companies, the TGS Group, the gas station, AZ Buds, and 2 additional grow locations that we're looking at acquiring. The TGS Group is a management company. It provides labor and material resources for grow organizations, the gas station and AZ Buds, and the 2 additional properties if and when purchased. Our LLC is in good standing with the Colorado Secretary of State. It has its own EIN. Per operating agreement, the gas station and AZ Buds are both owned by the TGS Group. And the other 2 properties would also be owned by the TGS Group as a management company.
Okay.
So the gas station is an all indoor cultivation, has medical and recreational licenses, has available space for outdoor cultivation, but honestly, outdoor cultivation in the harsh environment of Colorado doesn't work as well as one would like. Plus, in this area of Colorado, there's a lot of cattle farming, there's a lot of heavy metals in the ground, so it's just too cumbersome and too costly to grow outdoors with the opportunity of failing some of the testing that the Colorado market requires. AZ Buds is high quality greenhouse cultivation, has both medical and recreational licenses, or it did. They're suspended at the moment. It's incomplete due to incomplete construction. No production has ever been attempted on the specific license. More specific details to follow. This is an old presentation,
that's okay. You can update it, and you know.
So the TGS Group location is in Ordway, Colorado, about an hour east of Pueblo, about 2.5 hours from Denver. It was selected because of the availability of licensing and easy to work with the local government, and overall cost of integration was relatively inexpensive. Property's cheap out there. All you would have to do is pay for the building construction as a rule. So we got our property for roughly $100,000. We tried to do that in any other location, we'd be spending $500,000 on property alone. And I'm just talking about the ground. So this is TAM 14. This is one of the properties that we're looking at purchasing. So TAM 14 has 12,000 square foot of greenhouse space, 9,000 square foot of head house space, and 1,440 square feet of pump house space. So all the buildings that you see here, this is a head house. These are the 2 greenhouses. These are 3 additional buildings that we can grow in. All that's just one property. So this property was actually ready for functionality. Due to a windstorm, some of the panels were damaged, but the technology in this particular property is very good. A lot of automation, really nice lights. because it is a greenhouse, even though there's damage and it's rained in there and various things like that and snow, quite frankly, it's minimal damage and easy to put back into operation by somebody coming in and replacing these wind damaged panels. And actually, I would use my own team, since we have an automation company, I would use my own team to do that. So roughly, we'd be paying ourselves to do the work. Through the automation company we have, Controls AZ. The next property in question is Maverick 14. The lot size is 5.54 acres. Greenhouse space is 15,000 square feet. Warehouse of 4,500 and a hoop house of 4,800 square feet. Nice property. You can see that it's got a huge greenhouse. These greenhouses are all top quality, almost indoor grow. So nothing here is like growing outdoors. This is all like growing indoors with panels that allow the sun to come through. And it's more economical to grow in these greenhouses than it is to grow indoor, because 85% of all of our energy comes from the sun. And then we basically supplement it with lighting during the evenings, or else during the winter months when the sun isn't shining as much. And if you know anything about cannabis grow, you're only growing through the sunlight. So you're mimicking basically what the normal growth of the plant is. So you have a 12-hour period of time that you have sunlight, and then you have a 12-hour period where it's dark. So all this technology in these greenhouses that we're talking about have blackout curtains. But as a general rule, what we would do is we'd use our sunlight during the day, and then we pull the blackout curtains back and let them have a good rest like they're supposed to. This is indoors on this particular property. You can see that it was operational before. They ran out of money, they ran out of funding, they just abandoned everything, including plants and stuff just laying around. By the way, all this is illegal. You were never allowed to vacate your property without destroying all the plants. But we don't really care. It's not a big deal. So the next one was 2.37 acres, 12,000 square foot of greenhouse, 5,000 square foot of head house. And once again, you got this really nice 3-tier greenhouse here, and the nice head house in here. All again, top quality greenhouse. This was, I believe this one was in production, but it needs automation, some curtain repair, and some cleaning. And then this is the gas station. This is the one that we bought, but also ran out of funding. So it's 12,000 square foot. Head house is 6,250. And then another head house of 6,256. This was our team. So that's me. That's my son. He's got a degree in horticulture. He's a sharp guy. He's been growing for over 15 years. This was another one of our 15-year veterans who currently is in Missouri, but willing to come back as director of cultivation for the organization. Smart guy. He's actually has degrees in teaching. These were some of the products that we created. And by the way, these are our photos. These are not photos that were captured from anybody else. This was our product. These were our clones. These were our pre-rolls, and this was some of our flour. We made excellent product. We were very good at it. We just came into the market a little bit too late, and when it was in a downward turn. So as a rule, when we start production in all 4 facilities, we'll make sure that every facility operates with the exact standard operating procedures, same level of management, same level of quality across the board, same level of automation. It'll be standards and standards and standards. And the whole point to this with the automation and standards is that we minimize our loss of quality, and we minimize our labor costs too, because basically our team will be well schooled in what we do. The other thing that is interesting about the marijuana growth cycle is we base it off of weeks, and those weeks pretty much run in a 12-week cycle. You have roughly 6 weeks of a vegetative state. Then you have an additional 9 weeks of flowering, and then you have 1 week for harvesting. So actually, that's 16 weeks for a larger plant. You can drop it down a little bit. What we're planning on doing, since we're looking at having 4 properties, is, and the reason why that it works well with the management team, is that on a weekly basis, what we'll do is just move the whole team over to one location, then the next location, and the next location, the next location. A lot of these manufacturing facilities, they can't maintain all of that labor resource. So what they'll do is they'll go out and they'll hire temps. And temps are another huge impact. Number one, they're very costly, and those temps don't understand your standard operating procedures. You never know what you're going to get. The people may come in high, which we don't allow. We don't allow smoking on the premises. Number one, it's illegal too, but we want our team to basically not only follow the governmental rules, but also be there working to make sure that we get the best quality and the best performance out of our team. So with 4 facilities and staging everything, so we harvest 1 week at this one facility, harvest it the next week, the next facility, harvest the next week at the next facility, harvest the next week at the next facility, and just go through week by week by week, moving the team around through the 4 different facilities. We maximize the cost effectiveness of our labor resources. So I just described a lot of this already: process control, standard operating procedure. Everything will be automated where we can. Obviously, for trimming and various things like that, and actually going through and putting hands onto the plants, that has to be done by human resources. But watering, feeding, lights, the environmental conditions of the actual grow itself will all be on automation. So then we like I said, we optimize and maintain quality. So the structure of the organization with the gas station group will be centralized departments: centralized marketing, human resources, payroll, engineering, and cultivation and compliance. That's what the gas station group will bring to the table. And that's pretty much the end of the presentation. If you actually go look at the information that I've sent out, I'm very precise and very specific with what I do.
Okay.
It's my nature. I'm very anal. So, and I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that I would like in the future to minimize that level of frustration with people who don't seem to spend the time that they need to. And if we're controlling the message like you're talking about, then that message comes from us specifically, and I think we have a better chance of succeeding.